Hello friends, I'm Tim Wildsmith, and in this video we're going to be doing a side-by-side comparison of two premium Schuyler Bibles, the Stridon and the Quentel. Okay, it's time for a fun Schuyler Bibles comparison. We've got the Stridon, the all-new single-column reference Bible. I did an unboxing video with this one. I did a full review, initially released in the NASB 2020. It's going to come out in the ESV next year, and they've already teased the idea of it coming out in more translations after that, comparing it with their flagship Bible, the Schuyler Quentel. It's already available in 6 or 7 translations. It's a 2-column paragraph format, versus this is a verse by verse. They both are reference Bibles, but they do it a little bit differently, right? The Quentel is fully established as one of the best premium Bibles on the marketplace, and I think the Stridon is going to be a favorite for a long time. A lot of people have asked me what I think about the differences between these two, so I thought, hey, I might as well make a video and show you side by side what they look like. So we're going to do an overhead here. We're going to do a deep dive into comparing these two, and then when we're done, I'm going to ask you to tell me which one you prefer, which one you like best, and why. So before we dive in, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. This is a side-by-side comparison of the Schuyler Stridon and the Schuyler Quentel. Okay, on your left, the Quentel. On your right, the Stridon, ESV Quentel, NASB Stridon. Now, these Bibles on the outside are very similar. They may not look like they're the same size because the Quentel I have here is a full Yap edition. I really love Schuyler's full Yap Bibles, and so I only have Quentels in full Yap right now. The Stridon has not come available in full Yap yet, but they're both just a little bit over 6 inches wide and 9 inches tall. If I spin this one around, you can see when I open this up, when you take that Yap out of consideration, they're really the same. Their website says 6.1 inches wide, 9.1 inches tall. As far as the aesthetics go, you're getting goatskin and marbled mahogany calfskin options. Here's what the calfskin looks like. It's a softer, smoother piece of calfskin as opposed to goatskin typically, but that's kind of the options you have is the marbled mahogany calfskin, the goatskin. They are coming out with some other calfskin options, but as I'm recording this, they are not available yet. But similar idea with the Jerusalem cross on there, the raised spine hubs on the side. You see this ESV Quentel I have is one that they did with silver stamping. You will notice that the Stridon on the bottom there, the green one, is a little bit thicker. Now, it makes sense when you think about it that a 2-column Bible is going to have going to be able to fit more words per page than a single-column Bible. There's just more room to get more words on the page. Therefore, the single-column Bible is going to have to be longer and more pages, therefore thicker. On their website, if you look at all the different Quentels, they make it in a bunch of different translations. Most of them are around 1.1 inches thick. With the cover, it's going to be slightly thicker than that, but about 1.1 to 1.2 inches thick. The NASB 2020 edition of the Stridon is 1.3 inches thick, and it's closer to a little bit over 1.5 inches thick with the leather. So it's a slightly thicker Bible. But otherwise, on the outside, these Bibles have a lot of similarities. They even Schuyler primarily uses 28 GSM paper. So I'm going to open up here. I just randomly opened that one to 2 Samuel 17. So I'm going to do the same thing in the Quentel. Get it to 2 Samuel 17. Here we go. Well, there's 18 and 19, so here's 18 on this page, right? So 2 Samuel 18 in the Quentel ESV starts on page 400. It's on page 465 in the Stridon. So you can see it's already 65 pages longer by the time we get there. Now, all translations don't have the same word count, but it's relatively similar. Now you're going to be able to see the basic differences in these two Bibles. The Quentel is a 2-column paragraph format Bible. The Stridon is a single-column, verse-by-verse Bible, slightly larger. It's got a 1-inch margin out here, where this is about a 1/2 inch on the Quentel. Different look and feel. They both have cross-references and textual footnotes at the bottom of the page. So they're reference Bibles, but the way they do being a reference Bible feels a lot different. You're also going to see some similarities as far as red chapter numbers, red page headers and chapter and page numbers, red accents down here at the bottom. There's a thin red line horizontally on the Quentel. There's a thin red line vertically on the Stridon. So very similar. Biggest difference is most of the Quentels, all of them so far except for the RSV Quentel, have an 11-point Milo typeface. The Stridon has a 10-point typeface. They do not publicize what it is. They said it's similar to the Traveris. It's not the Milo. Somebody told me online that they thought it was Lion, Lyon, and this does look a lot like the Lion typeface, but Schuyler has never said that it is the Lion typeface. So they talk about this being the Milo. So you can see just right here from above, slightly larger typeface. If I pull this over and kind of show it to you side by side, you see 11-point versus 10-point and how it kind of feels on the page. They're both line matched, 28 GSM French paper, red accents on the page, black letter text, which is slightly larger. Now, also while I bring this up here, you see where it says David's Grief there on the left, that's a paragraph format. Whereas over here, you get the verse by verse. They're using red verse numbers here to kind of offset the verse numbers, and then bolded verse numbers there you see when it starts a new paragraph on the Stridon. So it's a slightly different feel as far as the way it reads. A lot of people love single column Bibles, but don't like verse by verse Bibles. So that's what this is. A lot of people don't like single column Bibles, but like verse by verse. So you're having to choose some options here. One of the biggest differences between these two Bibles is the way they do footnotes and cross-references. So for the Quentel, you see right here, the footnotes on this page are at the bottom of the right column. On this page, it's the bottom of the left column. So the outside column on both pages, the textual footnotes are at the bottom of the outside column. Then there's that thin red line, and then you get the cross-references at the bottom of the page. I really like this look. I've always liked the Quentel and the way it kind of plays out on the page. It looks really nice. The Stridon, I think I like this even better. What they've done is they've put the textual footnotes and the cross-references all at the bottom of the page. There's a thin vertical line separating them. So on the outside is the textual footnotes. There it's on the outside. And on the inside is the cross-references. Do you see how that works? Now, a translation like the NASB that has a ton of footnotes, this is really nice. I'm interested to see what this will look like when it's something like you see the ESV. There's not as many footnotes here on this page as there are cross-references. So it'll be interesting to see how they format that. The next Stridon that's coming out is the ESV. So biggest differences here on the page, single column versus two column, verse by verse versus paragraph format, and then how they do the references on the page. That's the biggest difference between the Quentel and the Stridon. When you get to the end, they both have the really beautiful art gilding on the page. They both, at the end of the Bible, are gonna, at the end of Revelation, gonna go into a concordance. So if I get to the end here, you see that it's silver under blue for this edition of the Quentel. They have a lot more Quentels out there. So there's the ESV concordance on the left, slightly smaller in the Quentel. Right here in the Stridon, it's a slightly larger typeface. Then you get Schuyler's Bible maps. So you have the same things at the end of the Bible, kind of the same features. So they really do include a lot of the same features. Cross-references, concordance, maps. I did note this earlier, but just to note it again, there is a 1-inch margin. So this is technically a single column, verse by verse, wide margin reference Bible for the Stridon. Really cool. I don't think there's really anything else out in the Bible market, particularly in the premium world right now, that you get all the references, single column, verse by verse, and wide margin. So if you're looking for all of those specs, that's really cool. 10-point font, 28 GSM paper versus 11-point font, 28 GSM paper. Relatively the same size, but the Stridons, when the ESV Stridon comes out, you're gonna see it's gonna be slightly thicker than the ESV Quentel just because of that single column format, but that's the basic differences.
So there you have it, the Stridon and the Quentel. Let me know. I want to know in the comments, which one do you prefer and why? I think there's a lot to like about both of these Bibles. They do things differently, but they're still kind of that reference Bible. But I can imagine that some of you love verse by verse. Some of you don't love verse by verse. Some of you love single column. Some of you don't love single column. I think the reality here is that Schuyler is giving us options, which is really cool. So I hope the Stridon will continue to come out in more translations, and I hope that the Quentel will continue to be a great Bible for them, that they release in new bindings and new options and new sizes. Who knows? That mid-size Quentel is still on my wish list to get the PSQ, the mid-size Quentel, the full-size Quentel, and the wide margin. That would be incredible. I think that they would sell a zillion. Did you guys watch? I did not a video, but a blog post about a case for the mid-size Quentel, and they have not, made that Bible yet, but I hope they will at one day. Anyway, this was a fun side-by-side comparison video. If you have any questions,
leave those in the comments and I'll get back to you. If you want to take a closer look at either one of these Bibles, I'm going to put links to the unboxing videos and the full reviews in the description of this video and all my other Schuyler Bibles videos. I got a lot of Schuyler Bible videos on my channel. So definitely thank you so much for watching. Find me on Instagram and Facebook. We've got a great community out there. And before you go, hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. There's a lot of great videos here, and my goal is to help you find a Bible that's right for you. So hopefully this video has helped you do that, to kind of determine which one makes more sense for you. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.